When it comes to Chase credit cards in general, I mean the Freedom Flex and the Freedom Unlimited are pretty good options to think about. So in today's conversation, what I want to do is I want to compare the those two. I want to compare and contrast them and see which one you should actually get this year if you're interested in getting a Chase Freedom credit card. Okay, so in terms of overview, you need to understand that those two credit cards are both no annual fee cashback credit cards with similar rewards rates. But one thing you need to remember is that the Freedom Unlimited has potentially better choices depending on your spending categories. Okay, now whether you should go for the Chase Freedom Flex or the Freedom Unlimited depends on your spending patterns. It depends also on your credit score and your financial profile overall. Okay, so the Freedom Flex, for instance, offers bonus cashback in rotating quarterly categories. So every quarter, those categories are rotating. Okay, so if you happen to have the right category in one quarter, you can potentially yield higher returns. Okay, if you're willing to plan your spending around those available categories. So this is something that's pretty interesting. Now, one thing you need to also understand is that on the Freedom Flex, you're able to save a lot depending on the kind of travel that you want to have. Let me give you an example. When it comes to the rewards rate, for instance, you have 5% cash back on up to $1,500 spent in quarterly bonus categories. Then it becomes 1%. Of course, because those are rotating categories, you need to have activation. So activation is required. You have 5% cash back on travel purchased through Chase Travel, so the travel platform. 5% on Lyft rides. 3% back on dining and drugstore purchases, and 1% back on all other purchases. Okay, so you can see that you have a similar rewards rate also on the Freedom Unlimited side of things, even though I would say that there are some restrictions. So, what are the details here? If you think about Chase Freedom Flex versus Chase Freedom Unlimited, you got to understand that there are some winners the depending on your strategy. Let me explain. Let me first talk about the welcome bonus winner. When it comes to welcome bonus, you do have the Chase Freedom Unlimited winning. Okay, so if your goal is to get the maximum welcome bonus, go with the Chase Freedom Unlimited because it currently has a limited time offer of $250 in the form of 25,000 ultimate rewards points after you spend $500 within 3 months of account opening. And with the Chase Freedom Flex, you can earn up to a $200 cash back in the form of 20,000 ultimate rewards points when you reach the same spending threshold in the same time frame. So you're looking at what? $500 in the first 3 months. So you have $500 in 90 days actually. So that's something to really think about. Okay. And so the two cars often have identical welcome bonuses. So the limited time offer with Freedom Unlimited is a nice opportunity to earn an extra $50 for the same spending requirement. Okay. So that's for welcome bonus. What about the rewards rate? Well, the reward when it comes to the rewards rate winner, you have the Chase Freedom Unlimited also, because basically both cars offer the same bonus categories: 5%, 3%, 1%. The difference is that the Chase Freedom Unlimited offers a 1.5% cashback on all non-bonus spending, compared to a 1% with the Chase Freedom Flex, and the Chase Freedom Flex offers a 5% cashback after activation on up to $1,500 spent in quarterly bonus categories than 1%, right? So if you happen to spend a lot of money on regular purchases, for example, utility bills, kids' sports, daycare, insurance, etc., that don't typically earn bonus rewards, the Chase Freedom Unlimited could easily leave you with more rewards in the end because it depends on the rotating categories. After all, earning an unlimited 50% more on rewards on all regular purchases has the potential to lead to a larger rewards balance. So, this is something good to really think about. So, who's the annual fee winner? Well, here we have a tie because I've already said it. When it comes to Chase Freedom Flex or Chase Freedom Unlimited, you have no annual fee to pay. Okay, that's pretty good because it just means that whatever cashback you are getting from either card, that's just free money for you. Okay, so that's really good. You have nothing to worry about in terms of giving your money back to Chase through a very steep annual fee. In terms of travel perks, here you also have a tie because basically both of these cashback cards offer trip cancellation and interruption insurance. Okay, so what I mean by that is that if your trip is canceled or cut short due to a sickness or other covered circumstances, you can be reimbursed up to $1,500 per person and $6,000 per trip for prepaid tickets and non-refundable passenger fares. Okay. Now, just note that both cards charge a 3% foreign transaction fee on all purchases in foreign currency, which can really add up quickly if you travel abroad often or make purchases online in foreign currency. So one thing I want to say here is that, like during COVID, for instance, a lot of those Chase Freedom Flex and Chase Freedom Unlimited users were covered by the travel insurance. Okay, the interruption insurance. So that's pretty good. And one thing I want to say is that if you are a frequent traveler, I suggest that you pair either of these cards with the Chase Sapphire Preferred card, which comes with no foreign transaction fees. And the Chase Sapphire Preferred is actually considered to be one of the best beginner travel card thanks to its solid perks alongside a relatively low annual fee of $95. Okay, so something to really think about. And so by pairing the Chase Sapphire Preferred with either card, you can pool your points in your Chase Sapphire Preferred account for better travel redemptions through Chase. Okay, for instance, you can even transfer points at a one-on-one ratio to airline and hotel partners like Southwest Rapid Rewards, United Mileage Plus, Marriott Bonvoy, and IHD Rewards. So this is really good. This is actually a flexible way to get the most redemption value through Chase Ultimate Rewards and Chase Travel Partners. So if you're thinking about Chase Freedom Flex or Chase Freedom Unlimited, you got to ask yourself the card that earns the most, right? Because for you to make a move, you got to be sure that you are choosing the best card for yourself, okay? So the card that can help you or earn the most cash back really depends on how much you spend every month and which categories you spend the most in. In other words, your spending pattern and the volume that you're talking about will impact this a lot. Also, you got to really think about whether you are shopping online or in store. So you shop online or in person, this can have an effect also on the kind of earnings you have. Okay, so it's important to understand that you have to constantly use your card to like you have to use your card consistently to make sure you can see some kind of earnings build up over time. Let me give you an example when it comes to Chase Freedom Flex versus Chase Freedom Unlimited. Okay, in terms of spending. So imagine you use your credit card for all your regular spending and household bills. In other words, everything that you have in the house, every expense that you have, you charge it on a credit card. You can also use your credit card to take advantage of the Chase Freedom Flex bonus categories every quarter. Okay, remember those categories are rotating. Okay, so they're not the same. So, see, this quarter, the eligible categories are grocery stores, excluding Walmart, and fitness club and gym membership. Okay, so let's say you spend the following. I'm going to put this on the screen so you can see what I really mean. So, let's say you have $500 per month on grocery store purchases, and that's actually times three. That's actually 1,500 quarterly, right? You have 250 per month on dining at restaurants. That's a 750 quarterly total. Again, times three. And then you have $800 per month on miscellaneous expenses. That's 2,400 quarterly. Okay, so with the Chase Freedom Flex, you would earn about $121.50 in rewards over 3 months. That's $75 in rewards for grocery store purchases, $22.50 in rewards on dining at restaurants, and $24 on rewards for miscellaneous spending. So that gives you a lot of flexibility if you think about it. In comparison, with the Chase Freedom Unlimited, you only earn $81 in rewards over 3 months. That's $22.50 in rewards for grocery store purchases, $22.50 in rewards on dining at restaurants, and $36 in rewards on miscellaneous purchases. So that's really so you can see the delta there. So this example shows you that your spending and rewards might look in a quarter differently than in others. Okay, so you can if you're able to max out the Chase Freedom Flex quarterly bonus categories, you are able to earn even more. So what's the decision here? So which card should you actually get? Chase Freedom Flex or Chase Freedom Unlimited? Let me first talk to you about why you should get the Chase Freedom Flex. So, like the name says, the Chase Freedom Flex is a great way if you're looking for flexibility in your spending, right? It's all about flexibility. It's all about variation, actually. Okay, so that's something to really keep in mind. And one thing I want to say here is that in terms of additional benefits, okay, the Chase Freedom Flex is a World Elite MasterCard. So it comes with a handful of unique benefits compared to the old Chase Freedom card that was a Visa, actually. And Chase Freedom Flex benefits include purchase protection against damage or theft. So that's really good. You have also extended warranties on qualifying items. You have trip cancellation and interruption insurance. You have an auto rental collision damage waiver and travel and emergency assistance services. So you have a lot of flexibility and you have a lot of, again, variation. You'll also get cell phone protection when you pay your phone bill with your credit card, as well as other World Elite MasterCard benefits, including exclusive offers for ride sharing, food delivery, and online shopping, among others. Okay. In terms of redemption options, this card, again, I'm speaking about the Chase Freedom Flex. Okay. The card lets you redeem your rewards for cashback, merchandise, travel, and more through the Chase Travel Portal, gift cards, and more. So for superior redemption options, you can actually consider pairing this card with the Chase Travel Credit Card, like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or the Chase Sapphire Reserve. Okay, because if you are able to combine all your rewards under the that travel card, which gives you actually the option to transfer rewards to a Chase travel partner, a redemption option that potentially yields the greatest value. So this is kind of cool from a flexibility point of view. What about the Chase Freedom Unlimited? Let's talk about that. Why should you try to get this card? Well, basically, this card, the Chase Freedom Unlimited, comes with some pretty hefty perks. Okay, especially if you think about the fact that you're not paying an annual fee. Okay, so this is really good. In terms of additional benefits, you have some kind of similarity to the Chase Freedom Flex. Okay, so you have benefits such as purchase protection, extended warranties, trip cancellation, and interruption insurance. Okay, which is really great because if you have no annual fee, can you imagine that? I mean, you have an auto rental collision damage waiver, you have travel and emergency assistance services, and more. So you have a lot of flexibility. In terms of redemption options, with the Chase Freedom Unlimited, you can redeem for cashback, gift cards, merchandise, and travel through Chase Travel. And so, as I mentioned with Freedom Flex, if you have a premier travel credit card like the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Chase Sapphire Reserve, you can get even more value for your rewards when you use points to book with Chase or by transferring points to a popular Chase Ultimate Rewards airline and hotel partner. So that gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of which choice you should go for. So that's really good. So let me close to this conversation by giving you a method here in terms of picking between Chase Freedom Flex and Chase Freedom Unlimited. You got to have a certain strategy, a certain method to actually follow through. Otherwise, you might be making the wrong choice. Okay. So one thing you need to understand here is that you got to ask yourself: do you want to maximize your rewards, or are you actually looking for a way to earn more cash back? So it's a primarily a decision that you have to make between rewards and cashback. Okay, so why you might choose the Chase Freedom Flex if you have the time and skill to manage its rewards categories. The Chase Freedom Flex may be worth it because think about it. It gives you the opportunity to earn rewards at a higher rate over time, especially when you think about flexibility. For instance, the 5% cashback rate is one of the highest yields in the marketplace because most credit cards will give you about 3%, or let's just say 2 to 3%. So getting 5%, that's pretty good. Okay, so the 5% cashback is really high, but it will require savvy planning to max out every quarterly bonus category. It may also depend on how well your spending habits align with the quarterly bonuses and how much effort you are willing to put into planning your purchases. So it's a give and take sort of a strategy. Think about it that way. So that's for the Chase Freedom Flex. What about the Chase Freedom Unlimited? So this is a card that may be worth it if you are looking for a simple rewards card for everyday spending that offers a generous rewards rate on all purchases. Overall, it may not provide you with the highest potential for rewards, but it's a good fit for you if you're looking for a better than average rewards return without all the fuss, really. Okay, so this is something to really think about. So bottom line is that basically make sure to take a closer look at both the Chase Freedom Flex and Chase Freedom Unlimited. Okay, to actually choose the best one, but you need to keep your spending habits in mind. So your spending habits in terms of patterns, in terms of seasonality, in terms of volume, in terms of the shopping strategy you have, whether you're shopping online or you're shopping offline, that has to really come into play. Okay, then you can decide if you want to focus on maximizing bonus categories or earning actually a higher rewards rate on all regular purchases. Also, take time to compare either credit cards. Like you want to compare this credit cards to other credit cards on the market today. Okay, especially if you are trying to get if you're trying to maximize your cash back. In conclusion, to this conversation, I spoke to you about the Chase Freedom Flex versus Chase Freedom Unlimited. I give you the overview, the details, the decision, and the method. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.